Welcome to the Biker Protocol YouTube channel. My name is Hollywood with Black Patch MC in Las Vegas, and
I am Picasso with the Eagle Riders MC here in Las Vegas.
we are two motorcycle clubs here located in Las Vegas, as we just stated, and we talk about protocol, biker protocol to be exact. And today's topic is vest protocol.
Yeah.
These cuts that we wear, as they've been called. What? How do you handle them? Obviously, when you're wearing them, there's certain protocol for that. But what if you're not wearing them? Where do they go? How do you store them? It's a big topic because this is like your flag. This is like the American flag you're wearing on you. And would you disrespect? And I guess I shouldn't say just America. It's your country's flag.
Yeah.
Would you disrespect that flag? So one of the things, I guess I'll go first. One of the things I would say would be it doesn't touch the ground.
Right.
Unless you were, I guess, knocked to the ground.
And well, that's a little different, right?
Yeah, that's another story. You better be getting back up.
Intentionally be put on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, no intentional. You want to change or check your air pressure in your tire. You're not just laying on the ground. Rolling.
Take your cut off, throw it on the bike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's something you've got?
Never leave it unattended.
That's a big one. Yeah.
This is probably one of the biggest ones. I've seen it where, and it makes me kind of crazy where somebody gets up, we're at a restaurant, right? They take their cut, they throw it over the back of their chair, they get up to use the restroom, and they're leaving it unattended. So that is invitation for, and a lot of these rules are because, quite frankly, if somebody from another club, even if they're not patched up at the time, right? You don't know who's around you. They may see that, and then that vest becomes a trophy. Yeah. So this person gets up, leaves their vest behind, they just walk right by, grab it, and they're out the door. And by the time anybody even realizes what happened, they're gone. And that vest is now going to be a trophy on that person's clubhouse.
Yeah.
Guarantee it. And
I would say on the note of leaving it on the back of the chair, we've allowed, at least in our club, that, and we try not to encourage it, of course, but it's very hot here in Vegas. And sometimes you just got to rest for a minute, I guess, from the heat. Yeah. If you have other club members, you can always leave it in the care of your other club members, because then it's safe. It's not just sitting randomly at a chair or somewhere where someone could just swipe it up.
For sure.
What about storing it? Like when you store your cut, what do you think should be the protocol on that?
Like at home, you mean?
Or? Yeah, or anywhere. Okay, well, let's start. Let's say you have to take it off for some reason. You're going to work. You rode your bike and you rode with your cut. Where's your cut go if you can't wear it in work?
So I know some people are apt to think like, well, I might just lock it up on the bike if it might have locking saddlebags, and that might be okay. Again, this gets back into if somebody wants that bad enough, and they've got to, let's be honest, right? Most of the locks on bikes are not all that great. So that's a quick prying open of a saddlebag, and now you got a trophy. It depends on what level of comfort you are with that safety. If it were me, what I would do is personally, if I were going and I've done this, right? So I've had to meet with clients of mine, and I ride my bike. Every time I'm on the bike, I'm wearing my cut. So what I'll do is when I get in the parking lot, I may not walk in with it. I'll throw it over my arm. For anybody knows it's a jacket, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I walk in with it. I might have it in my hands. I might have it over my arm, and it never leaves me. Not a big deal, right? Yeah. So some people are more apt because they, maybe they're riding in like a 1% club or something like that. Might put it on inside out. That's an option too. Yeah. I know there's a lot of private properties, restaurants, bars, things like that are not biker friendly that may not allow cuts inside. So they ask you to flip them around and wear them inside out. So that's a common
another topic on its
That's a whole other topic, right?
Yeah. No, those are all great ideas.
Yeah.
I would say also you got to be cognizant.
But to answer your question though, and forgive me for not doing this, it never leaves it never is outside of my possession, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't hang it somewhere and walk away. Again, because you don't know who has access to it, right? This is important. This is like sacred property, right?
Yeah.
And you also have to realize it's not mine. This is not my vest. It's not my cut, even though I'm wearing it. It's the club's. And so it belongs to somebody else. And so this is, you have to cherish this. This is important. I didn't buy this. I earned it. So this, you have to treat it as such. And it's important to kind of hold that sacred in that sense. Yeah.
I would say like the work aspect, like our work is a little different where we don't have, I don't have an office that I go to consistely.
Right.
But let's say you have a job where you're always at one spot, 9 to 5, whatever it may be. It's kind of like you have to kind of, I guess, pick and choose. But leaving it in your bike versus bringing it in, unless you have like a locker there.
Right.
let's hope no one's
It's pretty unlikely
it.
somebody's going to get access to it.
But at the same time, if there's like a common area where people hang their jackets and stuff,
I
that
wouldn't
doesn't
wear it.
sound,
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like
wouldn't
I
do
would.
it, yeah,
I would definitely go for the bike more so than anything.
for sure.
So what about at home? I would say, for me at least, in our protocol, it stays in a spot where it is.
Mhm.
Your family isn't even technically allowed to touch it.
Right.
At least that's my understanding.
Mine goes in a closet,
Yeah.
and I have we work in the same basic industry, and I have like a locked room in my house.
Yeah.
It goes in a closet in that room. Nobody would ever even think to look in there, and so it goes in there. And it's out of convenience because it's a convenient place for me to get it, but
Yeah.
it's also in a place that in the public nobody would.
Yeah, and actually in home at home, it's not really like you think your family's gonna steal it or something. Or
Yeah,
someone's gonna
no,
break in
it's
and
not. No,
steal
I'm
it.
not.
I
It's
mean,
not like that.
it's
Yeah.
more of like you got a really nice suit, like a super expensive
Right.
suit. You hang it up somewhere and
Right.
take
You don't
care
put it
of
in the living room. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
don't
just
throw it
throw
over
it down
sofa
the
and
ground,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had club members that like their garage is their sanctum,
Mhm.
and they have a hanger and they hang it up right there in their bike. It's kind of like a little trophy.
Yeah, I've
setup,
seen that
but,
done before.
there's nothing wrong with that as long as there's not other randoms coming and going in your garage.
Sure.
Which usually shouldn't be the case unless you're there.
Right.
What about cleanliness? There's kind of a stigma for that too. Bikers are always supposed to be dirty, and I mean, if you go back into the culture of the biker lifestyle,
Sure.
I mean, yeah, they were. There was reasons they were smelly, dirty.
Yeah, right. Because they
bikers.
lived in their vests, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and there was actually like hazing that went on that related to you when you got your cut or whatever.
So, I think generally you shouldn't. So, and we're going to, there's a whole other video we should do on vest protocol, what
Yeah.
to wear and what not to. And we've kind of gotten into that in other videos.
Yeah.
And certainly if you're an RC or an MC, there's a difference in there too. But for us, this is how we look at it, right? So you should never have it like torn or ratty. There should
Mhm.
never be any, direct problems with it, right? But I'll give you one example. So one of the guys in our club, and we had a lengthy conversation with him about this. His girlfriend, so our back patch, has a skeleton on it, right? So she put 2 little rhinestones in the eyes of the skeleton. And we were in an event one time, and somebody's like, "What is that on the back of his butt?" And on the back of his vest, and we go and we look at it, we're like, "Dude, like, oh yeah, my girlfriend
Yeah.
did that." Well, it doesn't matter. That doesn't get. But
It was on his vest. Or?
on his vest, yeah. Oh yeah,
okay.
we were, and that was like he got a lecture
Yeah.
over that.
Jeez.
But other than general disrepair, our club looks at it as you should be clean. You should always have your patches should be identifiable.
Mhm.
But we kind of joke it's like you can always spot like the newly patched in people because their patches are like pristine, bright color, and you can tell they haven't ridden in it long. We kind of look at it more as like a badge of honor, when the patch is not looking ratty or gross, but when they've got a little road wear on them, it shows you've had some time.
Yeah, and that's like going back to that cultural aspect. A lot of times they didn't never replace their patches unless they were literally hanging on by a thread. But
Yeah.
then in turn they would probably sew it back on
Yeah.
by hand. And then they lived in them, right? So they weren't like scrubbing them clean and all that.
Sure.
And same with and this, I don't know if this is going to another topic, but the amount of patches you have, like you get one patch is our thoughts. Like
Yeah.
you earned one patch. Unless that patch is like burned in a fire or it literally is unrecognizable, you get one patch. So if you want to change your cut, this one wears, you transfer your patch over, right?
Now, sometimes I will share with you, and we're going to do a whole other video on this too. And I'd like to hear what other people's opinions are on this because it's a whole video we're going to do. Some clubs do summer and winter patches. So you're allowed to have 2 as opposed to 1.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of controversial in the club's lifestyle, the culture, because generally it's kind of like what you said.
Yeah.
Most clubs take you're only allowed 1 set. But like, for example, here in Las Vegas, we ride year round. We go on ride. Club did a ride just this weekend, right? Yesterday. And it was chilly out, but we're fortunate we have nice weather in Vegas right now. But if it were 20 degrees colder, we would have ridden to the same place. When it's 111 degrees out, and trust me, it's not pleasant when you're riding when it's 100. Or like we did a ride once where I came home. I'll never forget. I took my laser thermometer and I hit the street right outside my house. It was, I think, 138.
Jeez.
So, I mean, that's coming up with your motorcycle heat. Look, but our club, as with a lot of MCs, we ride in everything, right?
Yeah.
But when you're riding when it's 115 degrees outside, and it does get to those temperatures here in Vegas, and imagine, again, ground temperatures, right? Some people don't like wearing leather. And I have mine lined, a lot of times for some of us carry firearms or, concealed. All the other stuff you wear, these things can insulate a lot. And so some people like to have like a lighter cut. at a denim or some other material. It breathes a little bit better in the summer. Some people will like that, some are not.
And it all comes down to your bylaws and your specific club. I just I always like to go back to the culture of it as I've seen the history of some clubs some members would go from one charter to the next, and they would just sew on top of their old patches, and if it's in disrepair, repair it. And I think times have changed also with you see a lot more cleaner cuts. They're not torn apart and everything. And they take care of them more. So it's kind of like a cultural difference. And I don't know what you guys may think.
I know, I'm not saying it's just a women's thing, but I know some women's club, man, I tell you what, they're every one of them looks like they just put
and
on.
I've heard about that, and it's part of their prospecting. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. No. So it'd be interesting to see what you guys think about that versus the original culture to now. But in terms of going back to the vest care, it's basically it's your flag of your country, essentially, your charter, your nation. You got to take care of it and respect it, because it can be taken from you. Someone else can take it from you. That's not part of your club, and you're gonna look like an idiot.
Well, and we've done videos on punishments, right? And again, if you let this slide, especially if you're lucky where one of your own club members gets it, right? There might be a punishment. You might have to stand in front of the club and tell everybody, here's how I lost my cut and I want it back. Please give it, and plead for it to come back. So that might be part of the punishment is you don't get it back for 90 days or, things like that. So that's part of that issue too. Again, teaches you a lesson.
One thing we have totally not said yet, I don't think, is you don't ride in your car with your cut on.
Yeah, that's a big
I am sorry to say this. I've seen many people do that.
I've had to lecture people in my club over that. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
we're a motorcycle club, not a car club.
Right.
Essentially, the idea is you're now sitting up against a chair. Oh, I don't know if this is negating that exact thing, but you're blocking the patch. You're covering your flag, and it's not on a bike.
Right. When you're in transportation,
So that is, I think, a long-standing tradition that has definitely lost its legs over the years.
Yeah, I see it a lot. I don't know why. This is one of these things we teach our prospects. It's this is it's a big deal. Don't ride with your patch on.
And I don't know, just winging it, I would say something along the lines of the motorcycle is an example of freedom, showing who you are, whatever it may be like that. And on a bike, you can do that. In a car, you're in a cage.
Right.
No one sees you. No one cares about you. You are not. I want to say not anyone, and I mean, you can understand what I'm saying, but don't do it.
Yeah, please don't drive your car, or your truck, or van, or whatever with your vest.
So I think that covers a lot of it. That's the big one, I think.
Yeah, it is a big one. It's something that you're right. It's often overlooked, and it is a big protocol issue. So yeah, just some food for thought. Right?
Think of it as a flag, and then for those that watch our channel that aren't in clubs or maybe just learning about it, it's that's why it's important to us, because it is our flag. It's our country. And that's why people fight for it. And unfortunately, some die for it. Because there's a lot of work put into it, right? I mean, some clubs are very, very strict on prospecting and earning your cut. And when you do, it is
it's earning it.
It's a great experience for that person.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for watching. We got to do our end of video shot here. I'm surprising you. This is my turn to poison Hollywood. So, okay. Cheers. Let's see if we can guess what this is. Ugh. What do you think?
Like sparkling water of some kind. Oh, geez.
Yeah. It's the Zima of modern times, right? The claw, what is it? Hard seltzer watermelon.
Yeah.
Good stuff, I guess, right? All right.
Don't drink and ride.
Please don't. Thanks for watching. Keep the shiny side up. And if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe to this video. It helps us bring more videos like this out to you. So our videos come out every week, and we look forward to bringing them to you. So please like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. We hope this was informative for you, and we'll see you on the next one. So yeah, peace out.